If you believe for 1 minute that you are not, why do we allow our politicians to make laws that perpetuate a society of victims? In your own life? Hey, you're not going to pull that one here. Stop talking. Everything you just said is a lie. You're making excuses for we don't have the luxury to assume someone else is going to say what we're thinking. It's time to walk it like you talk it. These noble words I hear. People, when will we learn? Because you're not doing anything. Enough is enough. Okay, welcome to another week of Talk is Cheap. That's right, the talk show everyone is talking about. Rather cheaply, I might add. And so, Melissa, hello.
Hi, Jason.
You are looking stunning as always.
I'd like to say I try, but I don't. I just do.
That's true. You totally just roll out of bed looking like this. It really just takes you an hour to look at yourself in the mirror and acknowledge how hot you are to get ready to go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
something like that.
You just can't tear yourself away. I know. So, guess what I did this week?
What did you do, Jason?
I went and watched Michael Jackson's This Is It.
Oh my gosh, were you that flaming-haired guy sitting right next to me, to my left?
Did he have blue hair?
Yeah.
That was me.
Oh my goodness.
So wait, you saw it too with me?
Yes.
All right. So that explains why we are so taken with this movie.
Mm-hmm. Surprisingly so, actually.
I know. I was not expecting it to be anything. In fact, I'll be absolutely honest. The only reason I went was because it was someone's birthday. And that was the activity that everyone was going to.
Okay.
What about you?
I had an intrigue about it, but I really wasn't expecting too much. And it was very clear for me right out the gate that it was going to be something.
Yes.
Just from the first interviews of the few dancers, I was like, oh shit, this is something.
Yes, it definitely kind of came out swinging. Kenny Ortega decided he was going to make it worth us watching from the beginning. And I really was surprised that I enjoyed it. And even more, I was surprised that I had a breakthrough in the process of it. And so just overall, what were your impressions of it?
It was very peaceful, very beautiful. It was very much for me a feast for the eyes and ears. So many beautiful colors, so many sparkling lights and flashing, and the whole arrangements of the dancing was incredible. The talent that they showed, and also Michael Jackson's dancing, and his voice was impeccable.
50 years old.
Yeah, and 50 years old and dancing like that, and just the passion that he showed in every moment of what he was doing was incredible. I loved it.
Yeah, it was definitely...
And I'll be honest, I'm not like a huge Michael Jackson fan. There's a couple songs I love, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, MJ, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
no,
me neither.
me.
I have purchased, prior to his death, I had purchased one album ever, and that was Dangerous. Because it had that Free Willy song on it.
Oh, good Lord. And that's like the lamest one ever.
I know. I can't even remember what it's called now, but I just remember I wanted that song so bad. In fact, I loved that song and album so much that when the case was cracked and destroyed, I created a new case. I went and bought a blank case and created my own jacket for it out of must have been like Windows 95 paint or something. It was insane, but I have it. I'll show you. You'll love it. It's the best ever.
I'll look forward to that.
So I was watching this, and the whole idea of this concert, for me, made a lot of sense commercially. It's like, okay, well, they put millions and millions of dollars into this concert and prepping it. How would they recoup it commercially? So for me, I was kind of skeptical going into the film anyways. But absolutely, like you said, out of the gate, it's really clear that this is not a commentary on Michael Jackson as a person. It's not going to talk about any of the controversies or anything of his life.
Right.
It was going to focus on this one event, the making of this event, and all the energy that was put into it. And as a result, really give people a look at who Michael Jackson is beyond the controversy.
Yes.
Because it's, I have lived through the Michael Jackson madness. And all the things that we think Michael Jackson is.
You're one of the lucky ones.
Yes. It's so true. But all of the ideas of who Michael Jackson is based on what we've seen with the baby dangling over the banister and the allegations of child abuse and Neverland Ranch and giving kids wine and all these crazy things that we have heard over the years. Mm-hmm. You know what? People maybe forgot that long before that, Michael Jackson was an incredible musician. Mm-hmm. And he had a message, he had a talent, and he was inspiring, polarizing and inspiring to people around the world. And then the madness happened. Basically, the 90s happened.
Yeah.
And it really decimated him as a messenger, as a voice. So what I really loved about this movie was that now Michael Jackson has passed on. He's singing for Jesus now, or whatever stars do when they die. And this movie gave people something else to remember about him. Mm-hmm. Kind of, if you choose, remember that Michael Jackson is and was an amazing musician, exceedingly talented, and had a message, had a contribution to make musically. Because I'll tell you honestly, the songs that resonate with me most, and I would wager with most people, are the tender moment songs that have a truly significant message to share. Like Heal the World, Black or White,
Man in the Mirror.
I love. He worked on We Are the World.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a message. It's clear that he has a love for this planet, and that came out in his purpose. And it was unfortunate that as he lived, controversially, his message got tied up in the controversy. And yet, I had a breakthrough. Are you ready for the breakthrough?
Ready, bring it.
Mozart.
Are you
connecting
same.
that? True, not the same.
Okay.
Now, one of my favorite movies is Amadeus.
Much to my dismay.
Yes, I know you hate it because it's so artsy.
No, mostly because it's lame, but go ahead.
It's not lame. Viewers, do not listen to Melissa. She has terribly
awesome
evaluations of movies. It's awful. The AFI Top 100 for Melissa is like toilet paper for her. Okay? You throw Thelma and Louise at her, oh my gosh, it's like gag fest.
Except for the one part.
Oh, sure. The one part where Brad Pitt's not wearing any clothes.
Okay.
Yes, that is a good part. But there's more to that movie than gratuitous nudity, okay?
Was there?
Yes. But the point is that Amadeus, I enjoy this movie very much. It is historically inaccurate, but it actually tells an interesting story about musical genius. And that in spite of the fact of whether or not Mozart was, in fact, how the movie depicts him, immature and womanizing and all these things, he was a genius. He had something to contribute to this world. And now, long after he's gone, all that remains is his contribution. That's it. Even if we wanted to remember the controversy, I mean, there's plenty of musicians from history who have checkered pasts, to say the least. Musicians who died of syphilis and all sorts of things, cholera, tuberculosis, and just there's lots of stories. And yet somehow it doesn't matter because their contribution, their gift to this world, what, in my opinion, they came here to leave, totally lives on. And I was looking at Michael Jackson and being aware of the history and the experiences that went through his life, I know that 20, 30, 50 years down the road, Michael Jackson will still be celebrated as a significant voice in music with a powerful message, and all that will remain is his legacy of music.
It's true.
His contribution.
That's good news.
And in that, I got to take a look at what am I creating? Am I creating anything worth remembering? And I know that's a weird question because it's not really about worth remembering, but will the world change in a significant way that such that it is remembered? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I believe we all have a contribution to make. I believe there's a purpose for our life. I believe there's a purpose for Michael Jackson's life. I believe there was a purpose for Mozart's life and Bach and Beethoven, Handel, and all those people. We wouldn't have music today if it weren't for them. by virtue of them being their contribution,